Hey, what's up, Compete Training Academy family? Welcome back to the Compete Mentality Podcast. The Compete Mentality Podcast will have coaches, trainers, and players from all around the state of Indiana, the country, and the world. The purpose of this podcast is to motivate, educate, and inspire others to compete. Our definition of competing is doing what God is calling you to do, even when it's hard. No matter what stage of life you are in, we are all called to compete. And today is December 2nd, and I have had the opportunity this past week to visit 3 high school practices. And as we have transitioned from training season into basketball season, I just have to absolutely scratch my itch of getting into the gym and watching some great high school coaches coach their teams up. I love taking my notebook, taking down notes, learning new drills, learning new leadership principles from these coaches. And I had the opportunity to visit Delta High School, Coach Mark Detweiler, Rossville High School, Coach Corey Dunn, and Oak Hill High School with Coach Kevin Rembarger. And all 3 coaches I was able to learn greatly from each practice. It made me feel encouraged that there are awesome coaches, teachers, and educators here in the state of Indiana when it comes to the game of basketball. And basketball is alive and well in this state. And so today, I want to talk about 3 takeaways that I had from watching these 3 coaches. And the first takeaway I got from Coach Mark Detweiler. And Coach Detweiler spent 10 minutes of his practice. There was a point in time in practice, he blew his whistle. He saw some of his players having bad body language. And so he blew his whistle, called everybody together, and for 10 minutes he talked to his team about how to sit on the bench. That the guys on the bench, he said they were going to have probably at max an 8 to 9 man rotation, and that he would shorten that up to 6 or 7 really quick if there was players with bad body language. And so he was educating his players on how to sit on the bench, how to encourage, how to sit on the edge of your seat, being ready, not slouching. And I just thought that was awesome. And he even talked at length about how to sub out for somebody, and that when someone subs in for you, you got to be bought into the team. You can't just, when you get subbed out, roll your eyes and go to the bench. It's not about you, man. So when you get subbed out, he said, grab your teammate by the hand and say, let's go, let's get something done. Give him a word of encouragement on the way out. And I thought that was very important. And then at Rossville High School, Coach Corey Dunn, man, I love watching Corey Dunn practice. And we had the Rossville basketball team out for their team retreat at the barn this year. And Corey preaches toughness. And it was one of those practices. Rossville's 0-2 right now. And it was one of those practices where it really felt like Coach was nitpicking on you. But he wasn't going to sacrifice the things you can control. And that's point number 2. To focus on the things you can control. I got to watch their practice, and for probably 80% of their practice was focused on defensive drills, paying attention to how you close out, how you slide, and just displaying all-out effort. They're doing a drill called Kobe Zigzags, and it did not look fun, to say the least. But Coach Dunn kept saying, we can control our toughness by how hard we play, by the effort we give, and by the way we control our body when we cut through the lane. He said, finish your cuts. I thought that was awesome. That's something I heard Coach Painter say many times when I was at Purdue, that you got to finish your cut. You got to cut with a purpose. When you're cutting through the lane to the rim, cut all the way to the rim. Don't sell yourself short, not cut all the way to the rim, and not have proper spacing for the rest of your teammates. That's being selfish. And so Coach Dunn also said, catching the ball with one hand ain't going to fly in a varsity game. He saw a couple players catching the ball with one hand, and in a varsity game, things are happening so fast, lightning speed. If you catch it with one hand, sometimes that ball may just hit that hand and go right out of bounds. So just focusing on things you can control. And then at Oak Hill, Coach Rembarger, fantastic coach, and he talked about the details matter. And they were doing a 5-on-0 fast break drill. They had their varsity split into 2 groups, their JV in 2 groups, and they maybe even had their freshmen there. And coach, they were going through the 5-on-0 passing drill, full court layup, and the second team was not paying attention. They were supposed to release and go after the first group made their layup at the other end of the court, and they were leaving early. And if you left early, you may run into somebody, you may get somebody hurt. And so Coach Rembarger blew his whistle, stopped the practice, and got all over his guys about how the details matter and that they got to pay attention to those details. And so that's my encouragement to you guys today, that pay attention to those details, to what you're doing. Courtney and I are talking a lot with our players this week about habits. And we keep saying, show us your habits, and we will show you the trajectory of your life. So my question to you guys today is, what is your habits? What are you doing right now, every single day, that is a habit? And you're going to see over time, that's going to take you to a place you want to go, or it's going to take you to a place you don't want to go. So my 3 points today, guys. First, have good body language. On and off the court. Have good body language. Perception is reality. The way people look at you, that's their opinion of you. So have great body language. Point number 2, focus on things you can control. We talked many times about living in the present moment. We can't focus on our past. We cannot focus on the future. Okay? We don't have control over the future. Focus on the present moment. Then, lastly, details matter. Do everything with excellence. Compete every single day and focus on every little detail on and off the court. Those details add up. I remember John Wooden even talking to his team about tying their shoes and putting on their socks a very specific way. Those details matter. You put them on the wrong way, you're going to get blisters. Then you won't be able to run very fast. So guys, focus today on having great body language on the court, off the court. Focus on things you can control and focus on those little details. Always compete. Have a great day.